Happy Thursday, in case you've forgotten which day it is, because we've been locked in for weeks now. This is Donna Pirnat again, and I'm going to be teaching you today how to do some massage on your scalp and on your hands and on your feet. And massage is really good for reducing tension and helping you to relax and get your fluids moving in your body and just help you to calm yourself a little bit. Another thing that this is good for is if you're taking a test. So if you're in school and you're going to be taking an exam, the research shows that people who have a massage before they take an exam are more calm and they're more focused and they do better on their exam. So I certainly used that when I was in massage therapy school, and I would give myself foot massage before each exam. So today, what you're going to need, if you're going to do this with me, is you want a little tiny bottle or a little, like a little bowl full of sunflower oil or avocado oil. If you don't have that, or if you have massage therapy lotion or massage oil that you've gotten from somewhere, that will work too. And if you're really lucky, like me, you've got CBD oil that I ordered from Massage Warehouse, and this was $100 for this bottle. But this is amazing stuff. It's got 700 milligrams of CBD in it, so when you're using it, not only is whatever you're massaging feeling really good and pain-free, but your hands don't hurt either. So if that's something that you think you might want to get for yourself, then you can go to massagewarehouse.com and they sell that there. Okay, it's called Lab Blends. All right, this is the same stuff that we use as an upcharge at the Abilities Abound when we give massages there. Okay, but today I'm just going to use, well, for my scalp I'm not going to use anything. You don't want to get a lot of oil in your hair, and your hair moving actually gives you enough glide that you don't need anything, any kind of moisture to make your hands move over your scalp. If you are working on a very bald head, then you might want to use a lotion or an oil. People that have lots of hair, you don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to work on myself first, and then I'm going to work on Jeff, and that will show you how to do it on yourself, and then you can work on someone else. And it's best if you always work on yourself first to get a feel for how it actually feels, the pressure that you're using. And when you're working on someone else, you want to be very attentive to their feedback and ask them for feedback about how it's feeling for them, because different people like different pressure points and different things to be touched and different things not to be touched. So you always want to be checking in and asking, you know, how does this feel? Does this feel too hard? Would you like it lighter? Would you like it harder? You know, and or the expressions that we use in massage therapy, would you like it lighter or deeper? So deeper is a harder touch, okay? So today I'm going to start with my scalp, and a lot of people carry a lot of tension up in your head. You have muscles that are in your scalp, and if you're able to wiggle your ears back and forth, my dad was always good at wiggling his ears up and down. Those muscles that pull your ears back and pull the top of your head are in your scalp, and you've got muscles that go from the front to the back and from the back down to the bottom of your skull here, and then you've got muscles from the top of your cheekbones up into the top of your head. So those muscles are what we're going to be working on today. I'm not going to worry about the facial muscles right now because we don't really carry as much tension in that area. We do a little bit in zygomatic muscle under your cheekbone, but we're going to work mainly on the muscles that are under your hair. Okay. So first, what I want you to do is take your hands. You don't need to put anything on them. You're just going to use clean, dry hands right now, and you're going to use this part of your thumb. You're going to use this part of your knuckle. Okay, and you're going to put it flat on your head and just start at the back of your head, and you're going to push forward, okay? And use as much pressure as you can. If it's uncomfortable to use your thumbs there, since you're doing it on yourself, you can use the pads of your finger and pull like this, pull forward. So you're just going to pull, and you're pressing down as hard as you can stand it without, you know, hurting yourself or pulling hair out. And you're just going to come straight down like this. Okay. So you're coming from the top of your head, the crown here, a little behind your crown actually, and pulling it all the way down to the front of your hairline. And move it out, move your hands a little apart a little bit, and do the same thing on the sides a little bit more. So you're covering that entire top space on your head. Okay? Now for the back, I'm going to turn around a little bit, and you're going to bring your fingers downward. And you're doing the same thing, you're just pulling against your scalp, or you can pull it up too, but downward is more effective that way. Okay. Now you can separate your hair if you have long hair, and find right the lower edge of your scalp. Okay. And you want to make your fingers together like this, and you're going to pull them apart right against the back of your neck there. Okay. So you're going to put your fingers right here and dig them kind of deep into your neck, not so that it hurts, you're just pressing, and pull apart all the way to your ears. And you're separating those muscles, and you're kind of feathering them apart. And if you get it right under that line where the bottom of your skull is, right there, that feels really good right there. Okay, and you can stop right there. There's a little bony protuberance right here. You can feel behind your ears, and right under it you can just kind of press your fingers into it. Anything that doesn't feel good, you just don't do it. If it feels good, that's the key of massage. If it's feeling good, you're doing it right. Okay? If the pressure's wrong, or you feel like it's on a bone or it's in the wrong place, move your hands, don't do it there. Okay? Now I'm going to bring Jeff over here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you do it on somebody else. Okay, so to do the back of his head, I'm going to stand in front of him, because I can reach around behind him and I can pull more easily than if I was standing behind him. So I'm going to move him like this. You just go straight and bring your fingers together and pull apart right there at the base of the skull. How's that feel? And when you get to the edge of it, you can just kind of rub in there a little bit, your fingers, centered, and pull. This way, there we go. So you're centered and pull. Good. And I'm going to swing you all the way around. You take your thumbs again. Put them right on the top of the head. Use your hands to steady, and you're just pushing with your thumbs all the way down to the front of his hairline. Turn your head that way, sweetie, so they can see. Thank you. He's like, I don't usually have to turn my head all over the place for this. Pushing straight out. Okay, down the back, you're going to come down like this. Straight down. Just stretching out those scalp muscles. If your head and your neck aren't tense, then your body will follow suit, and it won't be as tense either. So when you get a massage, ask them to spend lots of time on your head and your neck. Okay. Now on the front, you couldn't see it as well because I've got longer hair. So you're just going to take your fingers, put them in front of his ears, right there on his temples, and just kind of dig in a little bit. You got to be careful if you have long fingernails. This is not something you're going to want to do to people. Massage therapists have to cut their fingernails as short as they possibly can so that there's no white at the end of the fingernails, because otherwise you can dig into people. So if you're doing this and you've got nail extensions, you're going to want to put on some rubber gloves or something, or maybe concentrate on using your knuckles instead of using the ends of your fingers. But always practice on yourself first, because that way you know how much pressure you like and what it feels like when you're doing that much pressure with your hands. Then you can practice on somebody else. Okay? Thank you, babe.
Thank you.
Head massage first, because you don't want to put any oil on your hands to do massage on your head. You could do feet or hands next, and I'm going to do my hands next. Okay? And I'm going to use some oil. You can use your sunflower avocado oil. I like to use CBD oil on my hands because I use my hands a lot to massage. They get sore. Also, if you've been gardening or sewing or whatever, crocheting, and your hands are sore, this stuff is amazing. Okay, so you just take a little bit, spread it all over your hands. Okay, they should be glistening but not like dripping with oil. Okay, all right. So you're going to take one hand and work on the other, and you're going to take your thumb and press into this meaty part of your hand. Okay, and just press it up and out, up and out. And then this side, you're going to use your fingers and pull, pressing into it as much as you can. And your hands and your feet can take a lot because they have a lot of padding, a lot of muscular body in there, and your feet take your whole body stepping on them. So they were made for lots of pressure. Think about the pressure that you use when you're turning a wrench, you know. So you can use a lot more pressure with your hand on your hands and your feet than you can on other parts of your body. So give them a good workout. Then you want to go in between. Yeah, you've got these little bony protuberances here, which is the beginning of your fingers, and you want to go in between those and kind of massage them apart. You're separating things and making them so that they can move individually. And then with your thumb, you're going to go in the center of your hand and just massage your palm that way. Feels really good. Okay. On the back of your hand, you've got these lines that go down in between the bones that extend out to your fingers. And you want to separate those out. So just take the ends of your fingers and just kind of separate like this. And this meaty part in between your thumb and your first finger, you want to really rub with that. Just enough pressure so it's feeling good but not hurting. Okay. Now take your fingers one at a time. Start with your thumb and just tightly kind of grab it, and like you're milking a cow, just kind of pull it and then pull the bad energy out of it, and just kind of whoop, like you're throwing the energy away when you get to the end of it. We have energy pathways that start behind our ear. We go all the way down the back of our arm, down the side of our hand, and out our finger. That one's called the triple heater. And by doing this, we help to release some of that energy that gets pent up in there. Okay? So that's how you would do one hand massage. Then you go back and you do the other one. Now I'm going to work on Jeff a little bit because there's one thing that you can do on someone else's hands that you can't do on your own, and I want to show you that. So Jeff, if you want to sit here and give me one of your hands. So I'm going to stretch out this part of his hand. Get his hand nice and oily. Thank you for being a sport. Jeff does not like any kind of substances on his hands, so he's being a real sport for me today. Okay, so this area between this muscle here and this muscle here, bring it in here closer, right between this meaty part under your thumb and this meaty part on the side, right in between the two of them, right here, where your wrist meets, is where your carpal tunnel is. Okay, and a lot of people have trouble with carpal tunnel syndrome. And what happens with that is that the carpal tunnel is right here, and your nerves travel down in through here to get to your fingers and the rest of your hand. And if this area gets tense and swollen, then the nerves that are traveling through it are going to be compressed, and that's what's causing pain. And that's where they do the operation to relieve that, is carpal tunnel surgery. But if you put your thumbs there and then you pull it apart, pull it apart. Does that feel good? Yeah. So what that does is that stretches that area, that carpal tunnel, open, so that it is not going to rest and squeeze on those muscles that come through your hand. And you can't do this on yourself. You can do this or you can do this, but you can't pull them together when you're working on yourself. So this is something that's really nice if you can get somebody else to do it for you, or if you can do it for someone else, which is why we trade. Okay, so that's carpal tunnel work. Remember, you've done the separating out here and this part. Okay. All right, thank you, sweetie. And I'm going to work on feet next. Now, what you need to remember about your feet, if you're using any kind of oil on your feet, this sunflower oil, avocado oil, whatever you're using, it's going to make your feet really super slippery. So I wouldn't even use that unless I had a pair of socks with me, or at the bare minimum, nice fresh washcloth that you can wipe the excess off. But to be super safe, you're really going to want a pair of nice absorbent socks to put on right after you do your foot massage. Because what you don't want is to put this oil on the bottom of your feet and then go sliding across the room and fall and bust your head open. That would not be fun. Okay, I don't have any kind of massage that's going to fix that. All right, so let's start with a little oil. Make sure you've got your socks with you. Okay, and put a little bit in your hands and just kind of run it around your feet. Get everything nice and oily, but not too oily. You don't want to be dripping. My feet are going to feel so good after this. Can't wait. Okay, so top and bottom of your feet. All right, this area right here behind your ankle. Here's my ankle, and here down here is the area behind my ankle, but on my foot. You want to be careful with this area if you are pregnant, okay? Because massage in that area can actually cause contractions that can cause premature labor, because you have areas on your feet, on your hands, and in your ears that are analogous to other parts of your body. And that's how reflexology works. So a reflexologist, a really good one, would be able to put their hands on your feet in different areas in here and tell you, hold this area and say, oh, you've got trouble with your, your intestinal system, or you've got trouble with your kidneys, depending on where they feel in your feet, because your feet have specific spots that are directly related. And so if you have trouble in here, it's going to show up down in here. And likewise, they can use tools and things on your feet, and it can be kind of a painful process if you've got trouble here and they're working in that area, but they can also work through some of that. Very interesting the way our bodies work sometimes. Okay, so you want to get it nice and oily, and you want to use the thumb, the joint on your thumb, and you're going to come straight up the middle. Okay, you see that? Straight up middle, the soft part. This is the arch of my foot right here. Okay, so you're starting at the heel, coming straight up. Now for the ball of your foot here, just use your thumb, your knuckles on your thumbs, and you're going to push as hard as you can because your feet can take a whole lot. Okay. You're going to take your fingers and bend them so that you have these knuckles extended, and you're going to roll them like this. See that? Roll. And I'm going to roll them across the ball of my foot. Oh man, that feels good. And down the side, rolling those knuckles around my heel. And you can go super hard on your heel. Now, right here across the bottom of your heel, we always take our knuckle on our first finger and we press and we go straight across the line, because that is where your sciatic nerve ends. So it starts where it comes out of your spinal cord and it follows down the back of your leg and it ends right there. So when you're doing that, you're actually directly affecting your sciatic nerve. Good stuff. Okay, on the top of your foot, put this down a little so we can see better. Just like we did on our hands, we're going to separate out. So up the foot, from between the toes, up that line, because there are bones in there, and we want to separate all the tendons and muscles that are stuck together and limiting our movement. Okay, so you're starting here and coming straight up the foot. Always do this on yourself so you know how it feels before you do it on other people. Okay, with the toes, you want to grab a toe, make a nice big round circle with it, squeeze it, pull the energy out. Pull the energy out, throw it away. Okay. Second toe, you can either go around it with your fingers like this, or you can squeeze it, pull the energy out, throw it away. Third toe, around it, big circles, pull the energy out, throw it away. Fourth toe, big circles, go around it, squeeze it a little bit, energy out, throw it away. Like that. Okay. Now the top of your toes, the reflexology points at the very tips of your toes are for your sinuses. So if you have allergies and sinus problems, you can massage the tips of your toes, and that will help you. If you're interested in learning more about reflexology, you can Google reflexology hand, reflexology foot, reflexology ear, and it will give you little charts that show you where on your hands and your feet and your ears these points are that you can press and rub to affect other parts of your body. And what I'm doing is more of a Swedish massage right here. All these other rubbing, the deep stuff is a deep tissue, but this, where I'm just gliding over and squeezing a little bit, this is more Swedish. Okay. So just rub your feet, grab your feet, and let that oil just glide. But be careful back here, like I said, from your ankle back to the Achilles tendon all the way down. This whole triangle here is a reflex area for your reproductive area. So if you are pregnant, then stimulating this, it has been known to cause contractions. So you don't want to be in that area if you're pregnant. Okay. All right. We'll work on one of Jeff's feet so that you can see what it looks like when you're doing it on someone else. one more thing I want to say about working on feet is that you should ask the person that you're going to be working with to make sure that their feet are super clean before you're working on them, because nobody wants to work on dirty feet, of course. But then there are a lot of people that will wash their feet really carefully, but they just perspire a lot. And so their feet may be kind of sweaty anyhow. And I wanted to show you this. This is something that you can get. I got this at Gander Mountain. So it's kind of a sporting goods type thing. You could order it online. It's called, what is it called? It had a little stamp on it. Magic Soap. It's called Magic Soap. And what it's designed for, it's made out of stainless steel. Whoops. It looks like a little UFO, but it's very lightweight. It's made out of stainless steel, and it's for taking the odor out of your hands. So if you've been fishing, or you've been cutting onions and you've got that smell stuck in your hands, and you wash your hands with soap and it still smells like onions or fish, this is an amazing little guy, because you can wash your hands with this, and it's not good for antibacterial, so it's not going to help you. I would not use this alone to try to keep yourself safe from coronavirus. But this is solely good for getting the smell out of your hands. And I've found that it's also super good for getting foot stank out of your hands. So I like to keep this with me just in case I need to do a little extra washing after I've had someone that I've done foot massage on. So Jeff, if you want to come on over here and sit in the chair again, and I am going to work on one of your feet. This is something you might like to do if you give yourself a foot massage at nighttime and you want to be really nice and relaxed before you go to bed. I put a few drops of lavender essential oil right in the sunflower oil. And if you rub your feet with that, or you put the lavender essential oil directly on the bottom of your feet are one of the places in your body that the pores are really big and open, so they can accept things like oils much more than your regular skin. So I'm going right up between the bones in his foot. Okay, so straight up here, in between these toes, and up here, in between these toes, and up here, in between these toes, and up here. And you want to keep enough oil, especially if a person's feet are dry. You want enough oil that your hands can glide. Wiggle that big toe. I'm wiggling it. You don't have to help me. That's right. Throw the energy away when you're done. Okay. I don't think I have to worry about Jeff being pregnant, so I'm just going to go.
You never know.
You never know.
Better safe than sorry.
I don't know about that. You can also let me do this and stop helping. Just grab their whole foot and flex. Move it around in one direction, move it in the other direction. You can stretch it down. Just start from the ankle and move your hand down and just keep pressing to stretch it. Make a ballerina. And then start from the other side. The heel. Come up. Push back. Nope. See, you're helping me again. You gotta let me do it, or else you're using your muscles, right? Don't help. Okay. I'm gonna push. And then I'm gonna push his toes up. Stretch all that. So if you have plantar fasciitis, all of this friction and this heat that you cause when you're pushing like this is going to stretch that out. Knuckles on the ball of the foot. right? Thumb knuckles. Finger knuckles rolling under the toes. Finger knuckles rolling all the way down the side, right?
Wonderful.
Okay,
We're gonna make
now
this a 2-hour thing. So I can
he's
do
got
both.
some really slick, slippery feet right now, and if I were to let him go like this, he's going to slide across the room and do that thing that I said not to do. So please remember, anytime you've got oil on your feet, do not go walking around like that. There. Now your little foot is safe.
Yay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. So that's head and hand and foot massage. Pretty simple. Make sure you wear your socks afterwards, at least until that oil soaks in. We don't want any accidents. Okay? And definitely wash your hands with soap and water afterwards. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I will be back on at a later date to advertise when Jeff and I will be doing a open Facebook Live where you can ask us questions and we'll answer them. Okay, so stay home, stay safe, and be well.